going live. You are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium. Today, the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Washington Commanders. Now, why are the Washington Commanders 0-16? Because they suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all is going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Or if there's anybody out there that's going to spend any time at all watching the replay of this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight, shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free. Fire away, throw it in the chat box. I usually try to check on the chat box like every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So if anybody has anything to say, please feel free. Just fire away. Right? Plus, also, sometimes it's nice, instead of me just like rambling on for like 30 minutes, it's nice to talk to somebody sometimes too. So please feel free, fire away. Yep, my dog is coming. Yep. Usually when I start talking, it's when he gets up and he wants to come. So I gotta move this chair. Oh, while he gets in. Now I gotta start petting him. Usually I gotta rub the belly. Once I start rubbing the belly, then he's okay. It's too much. But before I get started, anybody wants to help support my channel out? It would mean so much to me. In the description box below, the top link in the description box takes you to my membership page, okay? I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. Second membership level is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if anybody out there wants to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, thank you once again. I can use all the support I can get, guys. Thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, next time I go live or put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? Like I said, but if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. And then finally, in the description box below, there's 2 additional, they're Facebook links, okay? They take you to my Facebook. Well, one's a Facebook group. The top one takes you to my Facebook group. Okay, it's called the New York Giants Degree, and I say this in every video. Basically, my YouTube channel, Facebook group, and the Facebook page, which I'll talk about in a minute, is all called the New York Giants Degree. And that way, even like a moron like me, I can remember. I don't have, what's the group? Is the group called this? What's the page called? It's all called the same thing. Okay, so if you go to the group, and you become a member, what do we got? We have over 3,000 members in the group, okay? We hit the 3,000 member mark about a week or so ago. But this is 7 days a week. I'm putting stuff in here every day, okay? And the nice thing about that is that if you go to the group and you become a member, not only do I put stuff in here every day, but members put stuff in here too, okay? So there's a ton of stuff. I mean, obviously, the bunch of stuff I've been putting in here late is stuff about Jalen Hyatt, okay, Deonte Banks and John Michael Schmitz, and one video here, Xavier McKinney FaceTiming, looks like, or Deonte Banks welcoming him to the team and all that and everything. I got some. There's the press conferences here of some of the players. Joe Shane making the phone calls to the guys, telling them they're going to be Giants and everything. So there's a ton of Giant stuff in there every day. Okay. And then the second Facebook link, okay, takes you to my Facebook page. Okay, once again, it's a page. it's once again, it's called the New York Giants Degree. Okay, but it's a page. This one, I'm the administrator. I'm the only one who posts anything in here. But okay, it's the stuff I put in here is different, a little bit different than stuff I put in the group. Okay, I don't commingle. So basically, all the exact posts and pictures and everything I put in the page, I don't commingle them for the most part. So usually they're different. Okay, what do we got in here? Over 1,100 likes and over 4,500 people who are following the page. The page is really doing well. Okay, I said the same thing. This is 7 days a week. Okay. The group and the page, 7 days a week. So if you go to the page and you like it and you follow it, and you go to the group and you become a member, between the 2, You get a ton of New York Giants information every day. And like I say in every video, if you go to the page and you like and you follow and you go to the group and you become a member, if you're not completely satisfied, you get your money back, guaranteed. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna have a complete wrap up tomorrow night. I'll just do a wrap up of all the picks and see where we kind of stand and everything. But pretty impressed. We did get that running back. Okay, very, very good, very important. We got some defensive line help. Okay, we didn't obviously because we traded up 2 times, which was great. Go up, get your freaking guy. Okay, I like that. That was very good. Plus, we had 11 picks, right? Traded one away, so we got Waller with 1, right? But we jumped up, and to get Banks, to make sure nobody jumped up in front of the Giants to grab Banks, well, we traded away 2 picks, 2 late picks, a 5th and a 7th, just to secure Banks. And that's not something you want to F around with, right? If the guy is there, he's right in front of you, right? And you can sense maybe somebody might be jumping up to maybe grab him, whatever. Go up. Trade your first round, get a couple of, do what you got to do. But then also, we lost our 4th rounder, okay, when we got Jalen Hyatt. Once again, phenomenal pick. I'm going to go over all this stuff tomorrow night, though. But so basically, I don't know, my God, I don't know, was it 3 hours, 2.5? How long before the Giants made they picked their running back? It was a long time. That was hard. That was hard watching all those good guys coming off the board and all that and all the, but that's the way it is. Some teams had a lot of picks later on. Some teams just had them all spaced out. Some teams didn't make any trades. Some teams made a whole bunch of trades. It is what it is, but it was rough waiting, all those picks going by until the Giants toward the end of the 5th round had finally got a pick in there. So that was tough. But they did, they doubled up on cornerback. Okay. Looks like they got a little safety help. Okay. They got some defensive line help. Okay. But they got a running back. So they really, really did good. Okay. As I said, I'm going to go over, the cornerbacks and everything and all. Oh, there's Terrence. Really love the draft. Yeah. They did it. I really, really loved it too. They took advantage of it, especially in the 5th round. It was a nice deep running back class. Okay, so they got themselves, another running back. Now, as I'm going to go over the guys in the 7th round and the 6th round and all that. But the first 3 pad and the fifth. I really like, the guy. Gray. He transferred. Right. He was with Oklahoma. Okay. Let me see. I got, what is his stats here? Okay. 2019 and 2020 he was with Tennessee. Okay. Then he went to Oklahoma. All right. And obviously, it's tough. Unless you're like Greg Pruitt or one of these phenomenal running backs that Oklahoma's had in the past. If you're a junior, it's kind of tough to become, the starter. And since he was going in the 5th round, it is what it is. However, his senior season, he had a very, very good year. What do you have? 213 carries, 1366 yards, almost 6.5 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns. But he's good receiving the ball too. Okay, I'm going to go over some of his strengths. Doesn't seem to have too many weaknesses. Okay, but he can catch the ball too. And the thing I like, okay, is if you look in his 4 years of college, he's only had 549. All right. He's had 99 receptions, so he had almost 100 receptions. Okay, so very, very solid numbers there. But he's only had 549 carries. Okay, so very good. So there's not a lot of tread taken off the tires. Okay. So now, who is he going to supplant? Is he going to, he's a 5th round pick. He's on the team. Just pencil him in, okay? Unless he gets hurt or something like that, he's making the team. All right. unfortunately, if I got 312 tabs open. Okay, here we go. All right. Unfortunately, I can't stand it. One thing I hate, it's saying goodbye. I hate that, especially when you draft somebody and they do a decent job for you. Okay, it just maybe that I don't know. Maybe they're not right for the team or whatever. Maybe he came with the team and all of that, but unfortunately, maybe Gary Brightwell, man, it might be a casualty here because if you look, he's due $984,000 this year. Okay, if you let him go, his dead cap money is $89,000. So if we let him go, they would save about $900,000. Okay, as I said, I hate drafting guys, especially late, a little later round guys, right? Who perform decently. As a third running back, he plays on special teams as a running back, right? But for whatever reason, and it happens, all the time when a new regime comes in, you can have a decent running back, okay, but or a decent player, could not have to be running back, could be whatever, a cornerback, backup cornerback, backup safety, backup wide receiver. He can do a decent job, but for whatever reason, one of a boatload of reasons, the team, the new regime coming in, just whatever. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he ever was hurt. Or whatever. But I guess maybe they thought Gray's a little bit better of a fit than maybe Brightwell is. This certainly doesn't mean but or maybe I don't know. In case something goes wrong with Saquon, maybe I don't know. But I said, but they brought Breida back. All right, where they got him? I mean, they signed him $1.4 million, okay, for this year. $500,000 dead cap hit if they let him go. So they would save themselves about $900,000. But I mean, they brought him back for a reason. They didn't have to bring Brightwell back. He was still part of the team. Okay, so I mean, there's a chance. I mean, unless for whatever reason, maybe just Sean Corbin, which they Dable and Shane got from last year too, from Florida State. Okay, he's on the practice squad, so maybe they're going to battle it out, Brightwell and maybe Corbin, and see the better man stay. Who knows? So I mean, maybe Corbin winds up going and Brightwell goes on the practice squad. Who knows? But what you do know is that you're not going to have, along with Saquon. Let's hope. Knock on wood. Hopefully we get something solved with Saquon, or even worse comes to worse, if he signs the franchise tag and at least plays one more season, okay? They're not going to have 4 running backs on the roster, on the active. There's 46 guys you can have, I think, on the active roster for the game. They're not having 4 running backs, right? So there's a good chance that Gray makes it, right? And then you got Breida, right? And then Barkley. So, but that's a battle for a training camp and all that, to see who might stay and who might wind up going and all that. But what I was impressed with Gray, all right, he has he's a decent running back. He doesn't seem to have that the top end speed, But what I do like, what we got? He's got return experience. Now who? Brightwell. Because Brightwell does. Brightwell's got return experience. So you mean Gray? Because I didn't look to see if Gray has a return experience or not. That added up. But I know Brightwell. Brightwell's decent on special teams. Oh, Gray, does he? Oh, okay. All right. Well, there you go. I mean, see that? Okay. All right. Now riddle me this, Batman. Return experience, kickoff or punt or both? Because when we got rid of James, we didn't re-sign James. James was the punt returner. But if Gray, both, yeah. Oh, okay, okay, all right. Well, maybe he might get in there. He might return both. Who knows? So because we don't have James was returning the punts last year, so we didn't bring him back. So yeah. But same thing with Brightwell though too. Brightwell didn't do punts, but he did kickoffs. But Brightwell was decent on special teams. So, but maybe that's what they have in mind with Gray as well. But but obviously now you got that, right? He's pretty much a complete package. But what I was kind of seeing is that he's willing to block. I mean, pass protection and all. But like what I was reading is that he's kind of more of he likes to go and cut the guys, right? Instead of standing up, I guess maybe getting bowled over if an edge rusher's running at him or something like that. But he's willing to stick his nose in there. Okay, got to give him some credit there. Good receiver. Apparently, he doesn't. What I was reading, somebody wrote in, he doesn't get great separation. Okay, but he said he's good in the screen game. You don't have to worry about getting separation in the screen game. Usually you're wide open usually in the screen game. But he's a good receiver. He blocks apparently in the return game, so that's huge. What I do like about him, he's like kind of like that north and south kind of guy. You see him, he might take a step or two, but once he sees a hole, plants his foot and gets north and south. And then what you see too is, once he gets to the hole, he gets to the second level, he's able to put a juke on it. So now, obviously, when you're seeing the YouTube highlights of him, of course, they show nothing but the good highlights, you know what I mean? But, he's able to put some moves on in the second level and all that. Some other guys missed them. He doesn't seem like he's going to outrun the whole crowd. Okay, now if he gets a hole or something like that, there's still defenders between him and the end zone. He might be able to, that looks like they'll be able to catch him. I think he ran like a 4.6 40 or something like that. But what we got? Shane said he spoke with Barkley rep. Oh, so hopefully they get something done soon. Good, yeah, I hope so too. I'm interested to see, did they put the deal they had back on the table that they had, because they had two deals last year. The second one was almost closer to like the 13 million, and I guess Barkley didn't want that. So so what do they do? Do they hold tight, or do they up it maybe another $1 million a year or something like? Because does Shane just say no, this is it? Sorry, or do they try to meet him in the middle? If the Giants are maybe saying 13 at the most, and Barkley wants 16. Do they kind of meet him in the middle, or is he just saying, "No, sorry, tough, dude"? Maybe not 14 and a half, but does Shane go up to 14? But I know a lot of it was I was just reading anyway. Was seeing like some of it was the guaranteed money too. It was more, maybe I guess he wants the guaranteed money. I mean, maybe it wasn't the 13 million or something, because maybe the guaranteed money was maybe a little on the low side. So, but hopefully they work something out. It's almost kind of it's not as bad as Daniel Jones. There was a lot of parting of the Red Sea with Daniel Jones. It's like, you either really despised him or you were kind of pulling for him, as far as with the bargaining, with writing his contract and all. Some people didn't want him back no matter what, and other people want it, but with Saquon, it seems like more people are really, really pulling for him. Some people you read, want Shane to kind of, hold his ground, don't you give him 13 or whatever, and that's it. Don't go too crazy or nothing like that. I mean, it's something to say, but he's like the face of the franchise. He's good for the team. He's good in the locker room. I get it. I mean, I can kind of get it in a way, but I mean, you can't find an extra freaking $1 million a year. I mean, you're giving Jalen freaking Hurts 51 million a year. I mean, you can't give Saquon Barkley like 14 to make the guy happy. Now, it's not so much 14. It's not so much that number. It's the guaranteed money. So I don't know what the guaranteed money was. I never saw or heard anything at all about that. So, but I'm just saying, you're figuring if it was like 12 million or $12.5 million a year, or actually, I saw something was like $13 million a year, for 13. So it's like $52 million total over 4 years. So I don't know what the guaranteed money was. I mean, did they guarantee him just half of it? Like 26 of the 52 is guaranteed. I mean, the salary cap is going up. I mean, you can't guarantee the dude an extra $1 million a season or something. I mean, I find that hard to believe. I mean, it's, we're talking, I mean, because you figure going forward, the Giants, it was 228 this year. There's supposed to be some good TV revenue coming in soon. and it's just going to start going up. So if it's almost like the Daniel Jones deal. It looks a little high now, but you go a couple years from now, and it's like, oh, you got it for only $40 million. That's pretty good, I mean, because now it's on Jalen Hurts is 51, Lamar Jackson's 52 or whatever he wants, and then Burrow's coming in, and Herbert's going to come in, and then I mean, before you know it, Daniel Jones is going to be 40. You're like, damn, that's a pretty good bargain, So I mean, if you with Saquon, it's like if it's a tough situation, I mean, because there's the points for and there's the points against. To me, he's a weapon. He's the face of the franchise. He's more of a face of the franchise than Daniel Jones will ever be. I can tell you that much. He's great in the locker room. Respect, love from everybody. You don't hear a bad word about him from nobody. And that's tough in New York. You come to New York, 5 years in New York, right? And you get nothing but, there's not many guys you can start comparing them to. I mean, I hate to compare him to like Derek Jeter or something like that, because Derek Jeter is, obviously a Hall of Famer, But I mean, as far as what he represented and all that, I mean, class. Saquon Barkley, class. I mean, and I can understand he's just a running back, and once they hit a certain age, they start going downhill, and but I get all of that stuff, and but he's a little bit more than just that to me. So I hope they can work something out with him. I mean, it's not like he's asking for an extra $75 million guaranteed or something. I'm sure it's probably $5 more million, 6, 7, 8 million, or something like that. I mean, you can't come up with that for him. But what I would also, is that, they're also nice if, they meet in the middle too. I mean, if Shane comes up a little bit, maybe Saquon's got to come down a little bit, because, I mean, if Shane comes up, okay, and Barkley's like, nope, sorry, I ain't doing it. I want 16, or that's it. I mean? Okay. All right. Well, you sign the franchise tag. Next year, you go out there in the open market and see who's going to give you $16 million. I mean, the Giants could franchise tag him again next year, but next year it's going to cost them over $12 million to franchise him. But they might have to wind up using a franchise tag on somebody else as well, too. So Saquon might hit the open market next year, but then he might be in for a big surprise, okay, when he finds out he's going to get nowhere near 15 or 16 a year. So I hope they can work something out. But I said, Gray's a good pick. And I said, with the special teams, that's fantastic. Yeah. I said, he very, very good, solid. They took advantage. It was the same thing. The cornerback, they took advantage of the cornerback. Good, deep cornerback class. So I'll go over more of that tomorrow. They went over the wide receiver, deep class. They took advantage of that. Running back class, deep class. They took advantage of that. Now, as I took them to the 5th round, now if they still had their 4th round pick, of course, they wouldn't have Hyatt. They didn't trade away the 4th round pick, but they had the 4th round. They might have gone a running back there, which they would have gotten another good, solid running back. But they took advantage of it, so that's good. I do like that. I like that a lot. So now, once again, we have, young. We're bringing in some young guys. Unfortunately, if Breida winds up going, he's one of, because he's younger than Barkley and he's younger than Breida. So Brightwell winds up leaving. But at least we're bringing some young guys in there. So I do like that pick. Then, of course, let's see here. All right, then we got, hold on here. I got so many tabs open here. And the 5th round, pick 172. So that was a real good, 172. Get him at 172. Really, really good. Okay, then we got Trey Hawkins. Okay, in the 6th round. Okay, from Old Dominion. All right, now, let's see. He apparently looks like he only played like 2 seasons with Old Dominion. Okay. This past season, I mean, he did well this past season. One thing you got to give a lot of credit there, okay, is 6'3", very, very tall. All right. Very tall. I like that. Right. Let's see here. Let me say, I got so many tabs. Okay, here. I got the Dane Brugler says Trey Hawkins was a decorated athlete of football and track in high school, I guess. He finished his senior season at high school with 60 tackles and 2 interceptions. He was forced to go. See, he had to go the junior college route initially. So he went to Trinity Valley Community in East Texas for, I guess, the first 2 seasons. Okay, so that's why he only basically has 2 years for the most part in college at Old Dominion. He signed with Old Dominion in 2020 recruiting class, but that season was wiped out because of the pandemic. So Hawkins started in 25 games the past 2 seasons, okay, and made a noticeable improvement in his senior year, which was huge. His penalties went down. Apparently, I guess he had 6 in 2021, okay, which is, I guess, 1 out of every other game, which is a tad high. I mean, if you win a whole season with maybe 3 penalties, okay, but 6 would be a tad high. But he apparently only had 1 penalty called on him this past season, so that's good. One of the problems, I mean, like with the Joey Porter Jr., one of the things where he was kind of like slide a little bit was, well, actually, he barely made it into the second round, but he's kind of a little grabby. So and you start being a little grabby sometimes in the NFL, they can be a little flag happy on you. So, but that's good that Hawkins dropped his penalties this past season. He's tall, long, and limber with the gather and go skills to quickly transition vertically and stay attached to receivers. So, I mean, he's got some height to him. His long speed is impressive, but his average lateral agility will put him in recovery mode and shows up as a tackler. So, overall, Hawkins will get clingy and needs to improve his play recognition, but he passes the eye test with flying colors as his athletic profile NFL teams will want to develop. So, let's see. Hawkins' stuff intends to wrap up. So, I mean, a bunch of nice things about him. He graded out Pro Football Focus this past season with 78.3, a reasonable grade. Okay. His run defense is very good. Now, his run defense the past 2, even in 2021, was very, very good. The Pro Football Focus gave him an 82.9. So he does a very good job, okay, in run defense, run support. Okay. He graded out a 67 in 2021, okay, at Old Dominion. But, I mean, you also got to realize, too, okay, I mean, you want, nothing but the best, obviously. You get these guys, here we go, But you got to remember, sometimes there's a reason why they go to the 6th round. And then these guys that we got in the 7th round, sometimes, there's a real good chance they'll make the team. But let's also, let's keep in mind, well, I know Darnay Holmes, his salary cap, Darnay Holmes, his salary cap this year is like $2.5 million or something. Is that what the hell it is? Where is he at? No, it's $2.9 million. Darnay Holmes. Okay. I think this is his last season. I think it's 2.9, it looks like. Is he a free agent after this season? I think this is his 4th season. Yeah. Okay. I mean, my God, if they're going to let go of somebody, they 2.9 million. He has $197,000 in dead cap space. Okay. So if the Giants were to let Darnay Holmes go, okay, they're going to save almost $2.75 million just by maybe letting Darnay Holmes go. Now we got Flott. Okay. We got Adoree Jackson. Okay. And then we got we drafted the other cornerback, right? Banks, right? So we got our 2. Okay, we got our 2 outside guys. Now you're going to be a lot of guys battling for the slot, right? Now, let me see here. Somewhere here I got. Okay, here we go. Here's their defensive chart. I mean, you go. They got Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson, Rodarius Williams. Let's also not forget Leonard Johnson because they signed him. Okay, the guy he got hurt, the undrafted free agent, he got hurt. He was from Duke. He got hurt. He was training for the draft last year. Got hurt, missed the draft, and missed the whole season. So the Giants signed him for 3 years. Okay, so there's a chance he's making the team. All right. So we got Leonard Johnson. Then we got Deontay Banks. We got Cordell Flott. Ojulari. Let's not forget about him. Okay. Cornerback, nickelback. Then we got Darnay Holmes, Nick McLeod, Zion Gilbert. I mean, so we got a lot of guys. Okay. And then also they don't have them in here, do they? No, they don't. Right? They don't have Hawkins in here. Okay. So we got Hawkins. These are our cornerbacks. We got Adoree Jackson, Aaron Robinson, Rodarius Williams, Leonard Johnson. Okay. We just signed him. So there's a really good chance he's making the team. Okay. And we got Deontay Banks, Cordell Flott, Ojulari, Darnay Holmes, Nick McLeod, Zion. Jesus, God. 11 guys? Is that 11? Yeah. And we got Hawkins. So we got 11 cornerbacks. Okay. I mean, they're not all making the team. Might obviously put one or two or whatever maybe on the practice squad. Oh, what we got? Bryce Ford Wheaton is the second best wide receiver on this team. Now after Hodgins. Bryce Ford Wheaton is the second best wide receiver on this team. Now after Hodgins. Yeah, you like Hodgins, huh? So we got 11 cornerbacks. Okay. So, even if you just put a couple of them on the practice squad, you only put so many cornerbacks on the practice squad. I mean, we got a lot of cornerbacks. Right. So, I mean, that was one of the questions is having all these draft picks, even I said Hawkins, right? Are all of them, will all of them wind up making a team? Right. So, I mean, it says sometimes there's a reason why. Okay. And it's the same thing with Javarius Owens. Okay. They got him as like a safety, I believe. Looks like he's more like safety. Same thing with him, right? Javarius Owens, our last pick 254, our final pick. Okay. It's the same thing here. Now, so if we look at our safeties here, we got Bobby McCain, who's pretty much a torch holder. We just got him for basically one season. We got Dane Belton. We got Trenton Thompson, right? Xavier McKinney, Jason Pinnock, Terrell Burgess. All right. Then we just drafted another guy. So now we got 7. Okay. So, and then also let's not forget, okay, with Owens, I mean, after you're going to have undrafted free agents. The Giants are going to be bringing in too. It's going to be a constant, And then after that, after all the guys got to let go, the squads start coming down. The amount of guys those guys are going to be let go too. So I like the CBS. It's going to be a good competition. Oh yeah. What you mean? What the NFC East? We got Pinnock 2 at safety. Yeah. Jason. Yeah. What? There we go. Hold on. I got so many freaking tabs open here. I got lost on. Yeah, so we got McCain, Belton, Trenton Thompson, Pinnock, Terrell Burgess, Xavier McKinney. Okay. So we got, and then we got Owens. So we got like 7. Okay. So I mean, that was the one thing is we got so many picks. You kind of wondered if all these picks were going to actually make the team, make the roster. That's why it was kind of good when they jumped up, and it jumped up just to one spot to get Banks. Traded away, got away 2 picks, 2 late picks. They jumped up, they gave away their 4th rounder, okay, to get Hyatt, but they jumped up, they traded the 3rd and the 4th. I thought, I don't know how. If you go to the draft charts, there's like no way. I mean, the draft charts, each position is assigned like a grade, a number, a numeric number, right? You go to the draft chart, there's no way the Giants should have just traded a 3rd and a 4th to jump up like 16 spots. They should have traded more picks, at least another pick, like a 5th or a 6th round pick. But for some, Dable actually texted Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams. He was texting him and said, "Hey man, would you go would you go?" Because he wanted Hyatt. Good move. It wasn't Shane. It was Dable. He was texting him. He texted McVay. Said, "Yeah, if we give you a 3rd and 4th, would you go for it?" And I guess McVay said, "Yeah." So they just traded him a third. So they should, according to the chart, they should have gave him at least a 5th round pick or another pick, but whatever, it is what it is. But they traded away the 2 to get the third. What we got? Now the cornerbacks we have in our room, it's going to be good competition. I want the guys to have to earn their position. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. Hey, look at Kenny Golladay, right? Yeah, coach, I'm making $18 million a year. I should be playing. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, you got to earn it. And I said, I don't know, because they want guys with separation, and he doesn't get separation. With Golladay, I'm talking about. Was that the biggest reason? I mean, I don't know, but you got to earn it. So that's good. I like that. I mean, just because we brought McCain in at safety, right, doesn't mean that Belton can't knock him out, right? Or Pinnock, or somebody else, right? So, it's absolutely. I love that a lot. I mean, just because you're a 3rd round pick doesn't mean you're gonna, certainly doesn't mean, okay, we was a 3rd rounder, you're making a team. Now they put the best guys out there on the field. They give the best guys, give them a chance to win. So I like that. Yeah, I like that. I'm just a little bummed out they didn't bring Fabian Moreau back. Wasn't a phenomenal guy, okay, but he did decent when he was there. He doesn't cost a lot of money. But I guess they just decided to go a different route with him. Unfortunately, the things that kind of bother me, you're never gonna know. I mean, like Coach Dable's never gonna come on, do a YouTube video. Yeah, Jason Pinnock. Yeah, he came late to a meeting 3 times. In practice, he never seemed to give it his all. You're never gonna know. Why they never brought him back, what I mean? And I hate stuff like that, what I mean? Because I thought Fabian did a decent job when he was in there. Cheap, did a decent job. He's not an all-pro. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he did a decent job, somebody on the cheap, and they just didn't want to bring him back. I agree. I thought he did. Oh, yeah, I like the 4th round pick we traded out could have gotten us a decent one. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is that we could the 4th round, there was still some good guys out there for sure, and that was tough, man. Waiting, I mean, just pick after pick after pick after pick, and I'm still looking at the Giants. Oh, we got about 40 more picks to go for the Giants. Like one guy after the other after the other. I mean, but that's what happens when you trade your picks away. But I'm happy, that we got Hyatt. I mean, he really looks good, really really looks good. I mean, he'll be able to take the top off the defense, right? So, now, I really, really, really like a lot, right? So now we got on the outsides, right? You got Slayton, you have Colin Johnson, you have Hodgins, and then you got Hyatt. So you got, right? All right. It's not maybe Tyreek Hill and AJ Brown or something like that, but we got some guys out there, okay? Decent. Then we got some slot. I mean, Jesus, God. I mean, if Sterling Shepard makes a team, you got Paris Campbell, Crowder, Wan'Dale Robinson coming back. I mean, Jesus. I mean, what? And of course, then let's not forget about probably our number 1 target, right? It's going to be tight end, Waller. Hopefully he can stay healthy, right? But you got Bellinger, you got Waller. I mean, we can get Saquon back. Woo! We're getting it, but it's also don't forget it's still a process. It's not. I never thought for any reason that you talk to a lot of the other guys. Not that I know any more than other people do. A lot of people out there know a ton more than I do. But if you listen to a lot of them, it's always the process. This wasn't going to be the draft we're knocking down the Super Bowl door. Hopefully we're closing the gap a little bit on the Eagles, okay, and the Cowboys or whatever. And then hopefully maybe next year, if we get have a little bit more money, spending money, right? A little more, maybe we can bring another free agent in, right? Maybe 1 or so or whatever, right? Get another good 3 draft picks or so, add that to the mix, and hey, now we might be talking. Yeah, Fabian Moreau. Yeah, I don't know. That's one I never, you're never going to find out, right? Yeah, we would have looked to pick up an extra tight. Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, with his injuries. We still have Cager. Oh yeah, we got Cager. Yeah, I think we got. Oh, well, hold on. Where we at? We got Myrick. We got Waller, Bellinger, Cager, Tommy Sweeney. Don't forget about him. We brought him over from Buffalo. Okay. And then we got Myrick. But I mean, Myrick, Sweeney. Okay. Okay. So we got 5. I thought we had Vanette too, but I guess we just signed him for last year. I guess he's not with the team anymore. So we got 5 tight ends, but I mean, the starting guys, I said, Cager had a touchdown last year. I think he also dropped a pass or so, if I remember correctly. But, it is what it is. But that was the other thing. I mean, because we traded some of our picks away, it was kind of tough to get take advantage of everything. I mean, because it was a wide receiver, good wide receiver. We got one. A good running back class. We got a good running back. We got ourselves a center, which was huge, but it was a good cornerback class. We got 2 of them. The second one, we'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, we certainly could have gotten a linebacker in those middle rounds, maybe the 4th round, but we didn't get it. We didn't get a chance to take advantage of the tight end class. Yeah, that unfortunately we did. But as I said, we'll have to wait and see what Waller winds up doing going forward. Hopefully we can stay healthy. I hope it's not done come to pass, but I think we can get out of his contract kind of maybe after this year. I think if for some reason he winds up just being injured the whole time or something or whatever, I think we can get rid of him. Not that I want to. Hopefully he stays around, because he is a weapon. Hopefully he stays healthy. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately we couldn't take advantage of all the the good depth at a lot of positions. Because I mean, some of it also is like, when you got like a 6 and like 3 7th round picks, sometimes their value is, I mean, just if you're going to throw a 7th round pick in, you're trying to move up in the 3rd round. So 7th round, 6, 7, some of them is not worth a lot. So it's hard to add those into, into other trades just to get rid of them, whatever. And I said, and you're looking at, the 6th, 7th round, you're looking at depth, and hopefully some of those guys just make the team. So we'll have to wait and see. But we got a lot of guys. Right, we got a lot of guys, so we'll have to wait and see. It should be good. I said then after this, now that the smoke and dust is all going to settle and clear, then they're going to start bringing undrafted free agents in. You got that wave coming in too, right? So, we got a ton of guys, but where are we at? The defensive tackle, we wind up bringing in Jordan Riley, big dude. You're not going to get much from him in the pass pass rush. Okay, but he's big. Okay, might help out with the in the run game. Again, I'm 6'5", 338 pounds. So. Let's see where we at here. Jordan Riley. Okay, now Jordan Riley. He was at 3 different schools. He started at North Carolina, then he transferred to Nebraska, and then he finished here in Oregon. So, according to Pro Football Focus, he's never had phenomenal numbers. Okay, his run defense is so-so, pass rush, overall defensive grade. So. He will be like somebody maybe gets an occasional couple snaps here though. O-line make a huge jump. We're going to need them to step up big, especially with the Philly. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. And I think they have like 99% of the Georgia Bulldog defense there. Yeah, because their first 2 picks, they took the defensive, the tackle, then they took an edge rusher, then they took their cornerback. Was it the 3rd or 4th round, whatever it was? I mean, they got they lost some guys, but then they just keep retooling. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, hopefully, Neal can step up a little bit more this year, right? We got Thomas now. We got ourselves a center. They took Azudu in the 3rd round. Now, if you take a guard in the 3rd round, you got visions of seeing this guy being a starter. You don't take a guard in the 3rd round for him just to be some quality backup or something. So I could see them maybe thinking about him being a starter. We got Glowinski for at least 1 more year. We can have him for 2 if we want. He got bull rushed. I mean, he was like the only guy that stayed healthy all last year, though, on our offensive line, right? But he was getting bull rushed a lot back into the quarterback. I mean, he had some good plays, some bad plays. But I mean, if the Zudu can stay healthy, maybe he might be our guard. Maybe we might need another guard. Maybe going forward, be nice if McKeithen stayed healthy, made it out of training camp, and he made it to the regular season, and we can maybe see what he's capable of doing. But even the worst comes to worst. You got 5 offensive linemen. Well, now, pretty much, hopefully, we have 3 right now. Okay. Guaranteed, right? So you got Neal, you got Thomas, and you got Michael Schmitz, right? Even if Neal struggles outside, you got to bring him in to have him to be a guard if you have to. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can be a tackle, right? But at least you know you got at least 3, okay? And if after this season's over with, we see we're still struggling in the guard position, maybe next year in the draft, maybe we'll go out and grab ourselves another guard. But at least we get, we had Thomas last year, Shane and all, they added Neal. This year they added Schmitz, right? So we got at least 3 offensive linemen. Oh yeah, I'm rooting for Neal, but he scares me too. I think he can be a great. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, say if he's more, it seems like if he's more in space, in the phone booth or whatever. Because I hear a lot about, like, if he gets his hands on you and stuff like that, it's a done deal. It's good. He's big, right? He's got the height. I mean, he's got the weight. It's not like he's a 290-pound guard. He's big. He's a freaking sequoia. I mean, he's like 340. I mean, he's a big, tall dude. So it might benefit him if he came inside because he's not worrying about that edge rusher come crashing around the edge or whatever. Like, he's got to work on his footwork a lot. He was working with some guy, Anderson, who was a tackle with the Bengals back in like the 90s, I think it was. He was very, very good tackle. So he went to his training for a couple of days. So hopefully he gets better. But I mean, so you will give him this year at right tackle. If it doesn't look like it's working out, they can always move him in the guard. But at least you got somebody. So if he doesn't work out at tackle, he'll probably be a guard. So at least it's not like if he didn't work out at tackle, all right, we'll just get rid of him. You know what I mean? So at least we know we got 3 guys. But it would be nice if we got him a tackle. It'd be nice to have those bookend tackles. I'm really pulling. I'm pulling for him. He seems like a professional's professional, like whatever he's got to do to get the job done. I'm not saying he's going to be an all-pro or Hall of Fame or not like that, but he seems like he'll do whatever it takes for him to get better. You know what I mean? So after this season's over with, 2023, in the off season, what do I got to do to get better? It seems like, he'll just continually, hopefully, getting better and better and better. And some of it is just, he's just working on your craft. If in the off season you go home and eat Cheetos and watch freaking Netflix all freaking day and get fat and out of shape and you don't work on nothing, well, that's your loss. I mean, there's 1,000 things you can do. Working on your footwork, doing things to get faster, getting more mobile, working on your agility, on your whatever, working on your hand. Some guys do judo and stuff like that, to work on their hand, the quickness and all. There's a ton of things you can do. A lot of it's up to you. Some guys just, I couldn't be, I don't have the size or the height or any of that stuff, you know what I mean? But I mean, if you're gifted like him, a lot of it's on you. Right? And he seems like he's one of those professionals. It seems like he'll do what it needs to take. But a lot of that also is the drafting. It's like with Shane, right? That's, the smart, tough, and dependable. They want to bring in their kind of guys, so. If you bring in guys you think might cause a problem or have a problem or something like that, they may not want to work on their craft. But it seems like Neal seems like, what I like what he said one of the things is like, well, how come you don't trash talk or something like that? And then Evan Neal said, air is valuable or something like that. I don't like to, it was something like that. So he doesn't like to trash. He just goes out there and wants to perform. And I think as time goes by, I think he'll get better and better. He'll be like Andrew Thomas. Andrew struggled his first year or so, had problems with his foot and his ankle. That's freaking huge. I mean, how can you set or anything like that, and try to brace yourself and anchor yourself and try to block somebody who's trying to bull rush you, right? If you got something wrong with your foot or something wrong with your ankle or whatever, But Andrew Thomas kept working his craft, got a little bit better and a little bit better. And now he's on the cusp of being an all-pro. So same thing, I think, with Evan Neal. And hopefully Michael Schmitz will be there too. Man. Well, guys, it's been almost 50 minutes. Just shoot my mouth off. Well, the draft is over. We took advantage and we got ourselves a running back, right? We got a couple cornerbacks. We got a safety, defensive lineman. We got our center, right? And we got a good wide receiver. So our first 4 picks, really, really love them. At least the first 3, we're going to be starters. That's the big thing, right? The running back will be a good, good backup, or if he gets on the field, he'll do a decent job. We'll have to wait and see about the later picks, because I said a lot of times there's a reason why they're later picks. But I'll be pulling for them. But I'll be back again tomorrow. We're gonna go over the whole draft class and wrap it all up and everything. Man, it was a hell of a great weekend. Man. I love draft weekend. It's freaking phenomenal. It's just like Christmas. All right, guys. As always, hey, thank you so much, guys, for the comments. It's great to talk to somebody. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah, baby.